I DIY'd this custom sign for my first craft market and it got a ton of attention and compliments, so I wanted to show you how I did it. First, I drafted out my idea on Procreate before buying any materials so I could figure out the exact colors and wording I wanted to go with. I wanted the top of my sign to be the shape of a cloud to match my branding, but I knew I wouldn't be able to cut that myself, so I found this small business on Etsy and ordered from there. For the bottom 3 panels, I went to Dollar Tree, and in their wood section, you can find these panels for only $1.25 each. Then I went to Michael's, where I found these star magnet panels that were the perfect size for the accents I wanted to glue onto the cloud. I also bought these sandpaper sponges to smooth down the wood before painting, as well as spray paint because painting by hand would literally take forever. I also needed to have holes drilled into all of the wood so that I could connect all the pieces together, but we don't have a power drill, so I had to call in reinforcements for this part. Now that we have all of our materials, we can finally get started. I started by sanding down all the wood with the 120 sponge, and then I went over it again with the 220 sponge. For my stars, since these are magnets and I wanted to be able to glue them onto the wood, all I needed to do was peel off the magnet backing, and then I sanded them down so that I could easily glue them on later. Now it's finally time to spray paint. I did about 2 to 3 coats on each side for each color. This part was so fun and so satisfying, but I'm not gonna lie, the fumes were fuming, so please make sure you wear a mask. When I got to the last panel, I realized I forgot to buy pink and cream colored spray paint, so I just hand painted this with some acrylic paint that I had laying around. I left everything to dry overnight, and the next day I sprayed it again with a gloss finish spray paint because I read that helps vinyl stick to wood better, and that's what I was planning to use for the lettering. I did about 2 to 3 coats of this and then left it overnight again. I'm not gonna lie though, it's unclear if it actually made a difference, but I'm sure that it didn't hurt. Now it's time to put it all together. I wanted my sign to have a more elevated look, so instead of string, I used a gold chain that I found on Amazon to connect everything. This is also where I glued on my star accents. For this, I just used Gorilla Wood Glue and it worked perfectly. I wanted to use the words crochet, reading, and sewing because I wanted it to be clear to customers what we're selling and to draw people in who have the same interests as us. I used my Cricut to cut out the words onto white vinyl, but if you don't have a Cricut, you can very easily design the panels in Canva and then get it printed out. For my brand name, I wanted this to stand out a little bit more, so instead of using vinyl, I found this box of 2-inch wood letters at Michael's. I spray painted them a cream color to match the stars, and then I glued them on. As a final touch, I found these little star charms on Amazon that I attached onto the chain around the entire sign, just for a little extra oomph. I am so proud of how this came out, and it made me so happy to see how many people it attracted to our booth. If you want to make one for yourself, I hope this tutorial helped you, and happy crafting!